Welcome to ComfortTV.channel news, bringing you verified and balanced news from Nigeria and around the world. My name is Faith Kevin. Thank you for joining us this morning. In the headlines, President Tinubu defends Nigeria's religious freedom after President Trump's remarks. Fresh crisis rocks PDP as faction suspends acting national chairman. NPF moves to improve mental health of police personnel. FIRS commends Gombe government for exemplary commitment to tax compliance. Ex-Abia commissioner accuses Governor Alex Otti of diverting local government funds. TETFund unveils 1.06 billion naira landmark project at IMT Enugu. On business news, the Minister of Finance urges banks to prioritize innovation over big corporates. Nigeria's SEC reports $218 million Ponzi losses, calls for crypto regulation. On the foreign scene, 21 dead, over 30 missing in Kenya's landslide. Tanzania president re-elected in disputed vote marred by deadly protest. On sports, Noah Lyles, Sydney McLaughlin, LeBron headline nominees for 2025 USATF Athlete of the Year award. And Jake Paul's company reacts at Gervonta Davis risk losing $30 million fight. Now the news. President Bola Tinubu has dismissed the description of Nigeria as a nation hostile to religious freedom, insisting that the country remains committed to protect the rights of citizens of all faiths. His reaction follows a statement by United States President Donald Trump, who on Friday designated Nigeria a country of particular concern over alleged persecution of Christians. President Trump, in a post on his Truth Social account later shared by the White House on X, claimed that Christianity was facing an existential threat in Nigeria, alleging that thousands of Christians have been killed by radical Islamists. He argued that the United States cannot stand by while such atrocities are happening, adding that urgent action was required to protect Christians globally. Responding, President Tinubu said Nigeria stands as a democratic nation guided by constitutional guarantees of religious liberty for all citizens. He rejected suggestions that Nigeria encourages religious persecution, stressing that the country's diversity remains a pillar of national unity. The Nigerian head of state added that his administration is committed to continued collaboration with the U.S. and other partners to protect vulnerable communities everywhere. Meanwhile, former chief whip and current senator representing Borno South, Senator Ali Ndume, has blamed the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration and the Senate for tagging Nigeria by the United States President Donald Trump a country of particular concern, saying their failure to proactively engage the United States government over the alleged persecution of Nigeria led to the development. The senator recalled that he had earlier sponsored a motion in the Senate on Christian genocide in the country. The motion, he said, led to resolutions mandating the Nigerian government to engage the U.S. with verified facts and figures. The internal crisis between the People's Democratic Party (PDP) has intensified as a rival leadership faction announced the suspension of the acting national chairman, Ambassador Umar Damagum, along with 5 members of the National Working Committee and WC. The development followed a press briefing in Abuja, where PDP National Secretary Senator Samuel Anyanwu led a group claiming to represent the legitimate leadership of the party. The faction accused Ambassador Damagum of poor leadership, alleged anti-party activities, and a failure to uphold the party's constitution. In a statement issued after the meeting, the group named the National Vice Chairman Mohammed Abdurrahman as the new acting national chairman, saying the decision was taken after consultations with key stakeholders across the country. The faction maintained that this action was aimed at restoring order and discipline within the PDP and repositioning it ahead of the 2027 general elections. According to the faction, the suspension of Damagum and the affected NWC members was based on alleged misconduct and dereliction of duty, which they claim had weakened the party structure at both national and state levels. The latest development adds another layer to the deepening leadership tussle within the PDP, reflecting long-standing divisions over control, zoning, and direction of the party since its loss of power at the federal level. Political analysts warn that if unresolved, the internal strife could further undermine the PDP's effort to rebuild and present a united front ahead of the next election cycle. The Nigerian Police Force (NPF) says it is prioritizing the mental health of its personnel as part of efforts to enhance effective policing nationwide. At the 2025 Annual National Congress and Scientific Conference of the Nigerian Psychological Association in Abuja, Force Medical Director AIG Melchior Ezi said improving officers' mental well-being has become a key focus of the police leadership. She explained that the force is introducing measures to tackle stress and trauma among personnel. The Controller General of the Nigerian Correctional Center, Mr. Sylvester Nwakuchi, represented by Assistant Controller General Mr. Stanley Otalo, noted that mental health challenges are rising across all sectors, including the correctional system, and require specialized attention. The conference highlighted the urgent need for stronger mental health support within security agencies to improve welfare and performance. The Federal Inland Revenue Service (FIRS) has commended the Gombe State Governor for its commitment to tax compliance, fiscal discipline, and effective financial management, describing the state as a model for sound governance and accountability in Nigeria. The commendation was made by the Director of Government Business Northern Region, Malam Atiku Muhammad Duku, during a courtesy visit to the Commissioner for Finance and Economic Development, Malam Muhammad Gambo Magaji, FCNA, in the office. Malam Atiku, who led a delegation from the FIRS headquarters in Abuja, conveyed the service's appreciation to the Gombe State Government for its consistent cooperation and contribution to the national development through effective tax administration. He noted that his visit was aimed at strengthening existing collaboration, exchanging feedback, and exploring new avenues to improve service delivery and the overall tax experience. He explained that in line with the policy direction of President Bola Tinubu, the federal government has signed a new tax reform law scheduled for implementation in 2026. The reform seeks to expand Nigeria's non-oil revenue base, stimulate economic growth, and support small and medium-scale enterprises (SMEs) across the country. The FIRS director further revealed that the service now accounts for nearly 70% of total inflows into the Federation account. Allocation Committee FAAC, a reflection of the growing importance of tax revenues in national development. Former Abia State Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Barrister Eze Chikamnayo, has claimed that Governor Alex Oti is diverting local government funds. Barrister Chikamnayo stated that the governor has hindered the development of the local government, making it impossible for it to operate effectively. He also dismissed claims that the Deputy Speaker of the House of Rep, Honorable Benjamin Kalu, is playing political games. He said that Honorable Kalu only demanded accountability from the governor and was not in any political conflict with him. He insisted that what is in the best interest of Abia is transparency and accountability, noting that Honorable Kalu's call was justified considering the amount of money available to the state. The Tertiary Education Trust Fund (TETFund) has reinforced its resolve to transform tertiary education landscape with the commissioning of 5 major infrastructure projects worth over 1.6 billion naira at the Institute of Management and Technology (IMT) Enugu. The projects completed through TETFund Special Intervention Program were unveiled in a colorful ceremony that attracted government officials, representatives of the academic community, and stakeholders from across the Southeast. Representing the TETFund Board of Trustees, Mrs. Esther Onyechuku Ukachukwu lauded IMT's management for its resilience and accountability in ensuring timely completion despite economic challenges. She commended the Enugu State government for its continued support to IMT and assured that TETFund will sustain the interventions that drive innovation, particularly in digital learning and artificial intelligence. TETFund Executive Secretary Aksoni St. Ekono praised IMT's management for its prudence and efficient project execution amid harsh economic realities. He informed the TETFund board had approved additional allocations to assist institutions with stalled or distressed projects, noting that such interventions were already yielding visible results nationwide. Architect Ekono, however, emphasized the importance of maintenance culture, urging IMT to preserve the newly commissioned structures to ensure long-term values. IMT Rector Professor Gozie Obodo assured that the institution remained committed to maintaining all TETFund-supported facilities. This is ComfortTV.channel news. Will return shortly with business, foreign, and sports news. Many thanks for staying tuned. This is Comfort TV, the channel. Onto the world of business, Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, has called on Nigerian banks to channel more credit to young innovators and small businesses, saying the era of concentrating lending on big corporates must give way to inclusive, innovation-driven financing. Mr. Edun said this while speaking at the 2025 Fellowship Investiture of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria (CIBN) in Lagos, where he reaffirmed the federal government's commitment to sustaining ongoing reforms and expanding access to finance as key drivers of economic growth beyond 4%. He commended the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) for maintaining monetary discipline under its current leadership, describing the tight policy stance as a necessary step to curb inflation, stabilize the financial system, and restore investor confidence. The minister stressed the need for banks to broaden credit access and finance innovation-driven enterprises that can create jobs for young Nigerians. Still on business, the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) has revealed that Nigeria has lost over $218 million, an equivalent of 316 billion naira in public money to Ponzi schemes, warning that fraudulent operators continue to exploit citizens seeking quick money returns. The Commission has noted that these illegal schemes use social media and online platforms to promise unrealistic profits on invested money, often up to 30% monthly. Once the flow of new money stops, the scheme collapses, wiping out investors' savings and circulating further financial instability. In one major incident, over 155,000 rural women lost money and personal assets to a fake investment program disguised as a government initiative. The SEC said this demonstrates how easily people can lose money when driven by promises of fast wealth. To protect investors' money, the SEC is strengthening its oversight of digital assets and investment platforms, ensuring only registered entities are permitted to handle public funds. The agency said the move will help curb the spread of Ponzi-like schemes that drain household and institutional money. The SEC urged Nigerians to verify where they place their money through official channels and to prioritize financial education and due diligence, stressing that informed investors are less likely to lose money to fraud. Onto the foreign scene, at least 21 people have been confirmed dead and more than 30 others remain missing after a massive landslide struck western Kenya following days of heavy rainfall. The disaster occurred overnight in Marakwet East, one of the areas worst affected by the ongoing rainy season that has caused flooding and mudslides across several counties. The landslide swept through homes and farmland, leaving widespread destruction and displacing dozens of families. Aerial footage released by the Kenyan Red Cross showed vast stretches of land buried under mud and debris, with floodwaters cutting off access to several communities. The humanitarian agency said it is working closely with the government and local responders to coordinate rescue and relief operations. Rescue teams have been deployed to search for survivors, while helicopters are being used to evacuate the injured and deliver emergency supplies to stranded residents. Authorities have warned that the death toll could rise as recovery efforts continue amid difficult weather conditions. Still on the foreign, Tanzanian President Samia Suluhu Hassan has been re-elected with more than 97% of the vote in an election marred by controversy and unrest. Her two main rivals were barred from contesting, a move that drew criticism from opposition groups and international observers who questioned the credibility of the poll. The vote was held amid widespread protests across the country, with demonstrators attempting to disrupt the counting process. Security forces and troops were deployed to restore order, leading to violent clashes in several areas. Reports suggest that many people were killed or injured during the crackdown, though authorities have not released official figures. Despite the unrest, the Electoral Commission declared Hassan the winner, extending her tenure as Tanzania's first female president. Onto the world of sports, USA Track and Field has unveiled the star-studded list of nominees for its 2025 End of the Year Awards, with track sensations Noah Lyles and Sydney McLaughlin-Lebron among the top contenders. The ceremony is scheduled for December 5 in Orlando, Florida, and will honor the outstanding performances of American athletes throughout the season. The nominations follow a dominant year for Team USA, which secured an impressive 16 gold medals at the 2025 World Championship in Tokyo and an additional 6 at the World Para-Athletics Championship in New Delhi. In a significant development, this year's ceremony will be the first to include the Para-Athlete of the Year awards, following the integration of the U.S. Paralympic Track and Field program into the USATF. The list of nominees features a host of Paris 2024 Olympic champions, including Valerie Allman, Brian Crusoe, Rai Benjamin, and Tara Davis Woodhull. Melissa Jefferson Wooden, who enjoyed a phenomenal breakout year with triple gold medal haul in Tokyo, is also in the running for the prestigious Female Athlete of the Year award. Still on sports, Jake Paul's Most Valuable Promotions MVP has launched an internal review after fresh allegations against Gervonta Tank Davis put their upcoming exhibition fight in jeopardy. The bout, initially scheduled for November 14 at the Kaseya Center in Miami, is now uncertain following a civil lawsuit filed against Davis in Miami-Dade County. The boxer faces accusations of aggravated battery, kidnapping, and emotional distress from a former partner, the latest in a series of legal troubles. Sources indicate MVP is considering potential replacement for Davis should the fight be called off. Reports suggest that if the event is cancelled or restructured, Davis could lose between $20 million and $14 million in earnings. The promotional company is working with regulators and partners, including Netflix, to determine the next course of action as the situation continues to unfold. And that's our news bulletin this morning. But a recap of our top stories before we go. President Tinubu defends Nigeria's religious freedom after President Trump's remarks. Fresh crisis rocks PDP as faction suspends acting national chairman. NPF moves to improve mental health of police personnel. FIRS commends Gombe government for exemplary commitment to tax compliance. Ex-Abia commissioner accuses Governor Alex Oti of diverting local government funds. TETFund unveils 1.06 billion naira landmark project as IMT Enugu. On business, the Minister of Finance urges banks to prioritize innovation over big corporate. On the foreign scene, 21 dead, over 30 missing in Kenya landslide. And on sports, Noah Lyles, Sydney McLaughlin-Lebron headline nominees for 2025 USATF Athlete of the Year awards. Thank you for watching. For breaking news, exclusive interviews and more, follow us online at ComfortTV.channel on all platforms. Remember to like and share our videos, subscribe to our channel and click on the notification bell so you don't miss out on future updates. My name is Faith Kevin. Until next time, stay informed, stay connected.